Good day, everybody, and welcome back to the flight deck. Today we are flying from Regina, the capital of the province of Saskatchewan, out to Calgary, the capital of the province of Alberta, as we continue our tour of Canada. We'll be flying this retro livery A320, and it's a fairly short flight. It's only about an hour or so, maybe just over. Weather's looking good here in Regina, not so good in Calgary. We may have some weather to contend with when we arrive there. But as it stands, we are here. This is Sim Add-on's Regina. Looks very nice. And we'll be heading out to Calgary to continue the tour. So let's hop on board and we can start getting set up and loaded. Once again, we're in the FENIX A320. This time in the Air Canada setup and retro livery. All right. Oh, flight tracker is running. Let's start getting set up. So cockpit preparations are done. The parking brake is on. Ground power is connected. We will turn on external power and turn on the batteries. So with them coming up and all our screens and everything coming up, we can start the boarding process. We will let them know.
Boarding requested.
And we can carry on getting set up. So ADIRs are going to come up. There's 1, 2, and 3. Evac sign, Captain Purser. We'll get the cabin signs are on and our lights. System 1 to let everyone know the aircraft is powered up. And we'll get our panel lights up. There we go. Crew oxygen is now coming on. Take a look here. Generators 1 and 2 are on and in fault. We'll turn the heat down a little bit in the back for comfort. Packs 1 and 2 are on and in fault. That's because the engines aren't running. We'll start our fire test.
Passengers
starting. And engine number 2. There we go. That's all good. Emergency exit lights are now armed. Icing indicator standby compass is on. Cargo heat is set to cold. Alright, see how the doors are open. Let's pop down here. We're going to need the messages when we're ready for them. We're going to come down here now and we will start with initializing the FMC. Database is good to 12 July 23. In it, and we'll bring in our flight plan from SimBrief. So there we go. CYQR to CYYC, that's Regina to Calgary. Our alternate CYEG, that's Winnipeg. Today we are ACA 8191. Cost index of 25. And we're going up to cruise level of 340 today. We're a pretty full flight. And we're not going too far, so we're not going to go up too high. There's our winds. Our climb and descent winds are all looking good. We'll come over to our NetB page. We'll get our block fuel. Looking at 13.4 thousand pounds.
Good evening, ma'am.
And our reserve for today is going to be 2,200 pounds. And yes, we are in pounds, as that's what was being used in this aircraft back when it was in service. Alright, over to our flight plan. So, we are going to be departing Calgary on runway 26. Winds I will get. I'll put them in the chat. So there you go. You can see the winds are 260 at 8, so we're going to be using runway 26. A little bit of visibility issues with haze, 15 miles of visibility, few clouds of 5,000 feet, scattered 14, broken 20,000, broken 27,000, 21 degrees. 29er, 89er is our barrow. And there's some cumulus buildup starting, and there is a storm front coming that we will be flying towards, and we're probably going to run into it. So 29er, 89er, 29er, 89er, and on the standby here, we'll try to match right about there. Going to uncage the gyro artificial horizon here. There we go. So moving back down, we can go into our departure. We're going to go off on runway 26, and we're going to use the CYQR, the Regina 2 departure, which is basically 5 miles straight out runway heading. And we will insert that. So that is good. For our arrival into Calgary, let me just do a quick check of the current winds. They've been pretty consistent. Yeah, 320, 15 gusting 23. So we're going to be landing on the ILS runway 29er. Is that what we're going for? Actually, we're going to go 3-5 left. I think that'll be a better choice. Yeah. So I'm just going to change. This may change again. Let's go here. We want the RNAV Zulu 3-5 left. Looking at our approach, probably not the one I'm going to want. The best arrival.
Hello.
And we're coming in via Burko. There's only one Burko. It's the Burko 5.
Hello.
Sure I've got the right chart.
Good evening, ma'am.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
Well, we'll take a look. So if we go into Calgary, sorry you couldn't see what I was looking at there. We want the RNAV Zulu 3-5 left. Actually, go for the ILS. Why don't I go for the ILS? ILS runway 3-5 left. just looking at the transitions. Okay, I see. So we want a ladder, and we'll insert that. Yeah, that'll work. And we're going to make sure that is a hard 6,500. That's the missed approach. And our point from before that will be have and we'll make sure at Matav we are at 7,500. Good. Alright, so that is done. Set up the FMC, we're heading straight out, so we're just going to set our cruise altitude to flight level 340. Altimeters are set, 29er, 89er transponder, we'll set to 2000. No ATC on here at the moment. Hopefully we'll get ATC further up. There's predicted wind shear is on and our ground collision is on. Baggage is done, fuel is done. 66, is that what we're taking? No, that's not what we're taking. Oh, right, I gotta set it. So we'll do that. So let's go over and do that now. We may have to put the jetway back when it does this, as it pulls it out. But yeah, we're taking 149 passengers, 7,000 pounds of cargo, 13,457 pounds of fuel. So we'll instant load the aircraft, go back to ground services, get the jetway back, because we're not done yet. There we go. And we will send the load sheet. We'll grab our final load sheet here. 0 fuel weight of 130.4. And coming back to our NetB page, 130.4, and our 0 fuel weight center of gravity 30.5. That is now 130.4, 30.5. There we go. That's now entered in. We can do our performance. Final check on our load. Fuel is loaded. That is all good. Still loading everybody in. Let's get that front door open again. And let's pop over to our departure. So we are at CYQR. We're going to be departing off of runway 26. Surfaces dry. We'll bring in our load sheet information. It's going to be a flaps 1. Aft packs are going to be on. Weather is in, winds are 260 at 8, and we will now calculate. There we go. So there's our V speeds, 126, 140, 140. So we'll get those entered in. 126 is our V1, rotation at 140, minimum climb out at 140.
Hello.
And we want a flaps 1 down 0.3 and 52 degree flex. So flaps 1. DN for down 0.3. Check that. Yep. and a 52 degrees on the flex. So that information is all now entered in, and we are good there. We can come back over to here, bring up our main page. So that is all good. We can close the door and we can carry on. So fueling, loading, and boarding is done. APU master is on, and APU is to start. We'll set our radios. We're on VATSIM, so Unicom is 122.8. We'll get that dialed in. There's no controllers currently here at Regina, so that's not an issue currently. APU is starting up. So the radios are set. We're set on both sides. That's accepted. There's the final load sheet it's sent. We'll accept that and come back into the menu, and we'll put Roger onto the flight plan. There we go. We'll set him up. I like to have him on 40 so I can see the TCAS information when that's on, and I'm going to set myself over to 10 for the takeoff. We won't be putting on the terrain radar here, but we will put it on in Calgary since we do get into some rolling hills, and we may need that as we go. APU is now up and available, 100%. Come up and turn on the APU bleeds. So bleed air is on. Generators have already automatically kicked over. So we're going to turn off the external power. Takeoff data is set 126.140. FCU is set, manage, and flight level 340. Flight directors are both on and radios are set. So we can come over here, we can have them remove the chocks and the ground power unit. And now we can kick over to the flight information. Come on. There we go. Bring up the route. Alright, once again we have no ATC here at Regina, but the aircraft is clear. We'll get the jet bridge disconnected and we're going to taxi out. So the runway we're using is this one right here. It's very close. As the winds are now coming almost straight down, as you can see by the windsock located right there. So let's hop back on board.
When you are.
Oh, sounds like the cabin is now ready. So let's
Hello, ladies and
call
gentlemen. I
up
would love
the
to welcome you aboard.
pushback.
When you find your seat, please be sure to place your larger carry-on items in the overhead bins and smaller items underneath the seat in front of you. Unless you're in the front row, please place all of your items in the overhead bins. If you have any trouble
Jetway
finding
is being
locations
removed.
for
Here
carry-on
comes our
items,
ground guy.
please let a flight attendant know and we would be happy to assist you. After you put your carry-on items in the overhead bin,
So
and it is
coming up to
full,
the overhead
make sure
beacon
you
light
close
is
it
going to
as a
go
courtesy to
on.
other passengers.
We're ready for
Also,
pushback.
be sure
Turn
that
on the
aisle
fuel
is clear
pumps.
and sit down so that way other passengers can get by you.
Navin logo lights are on,
If you're
seatbelt
seated
signs
in
are
an
on, everything else is
emergency
good,
exit
no
row,
other
please
white
review the
lights,
exit
only
seating
faults here
responsibilities
are
and
our
provided for
engine
you.
generators.
Please make sure that you are able and willing to perform these actions. If you're not, please let a flight attendant know so that way you can be reseated. Now's the time to get out and
So we're gonna go tail left, nose right.
Check completed.
But we ask that
Bypass
once
bin
you depart
inserted.
from the gate,
So we're going to bring in the tug. And lift the aircraft. You can see the bypass pin is in place, prevents the nose wheel from moving. So we're going to go nose right and tail left.
Locking gear.
please fasten your seatbelt and make sure that all tray tables and seat backs are in a full upright and locked position for departure. Cabin crew, prepare doors for departure, cross-check, verify straps, and stand by for all calls.
All right. Nose is being lifted.
Release parking brakes.
And we're beginning the push.
Commencing push.
So
All
beacon light
engines
are on,
clear.
fuel pumps
Starting
are
well.
on. Ignition mode selected to start. We are clear of equipment. Nothing's going to get sucked into the engines. Starting engine number 2. We'll come out here and listen to it. Do love the sounds of the FENIX.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your complete attention to the flight attendants as they demonstrate the safety features of our aircraft. You will notice a light illuminated above your seat. When this light is illuminated, please fasten your seatbelt low and tight across your lap. To fasten, insert the metal fittings into one another and tighten by pulling on the loose end of the strap. To release your seatbelt, lift the upper portion of the buckle. We suggest that you keep your seatbelt fastened throughout the flight as we may experience unexpected turbulence. There are several emergency exits on this aircraft. Please take a few moments now to locate your nearest exit. In some cases, your nearest exit may be behind you. If we need to evacuate the aircraft, floor-level lighting will guide you towards the exit. In the event of a loss of cabin pressure, an oxygen mask will drop in front of you. Start the flow of oxygen, pull the mask towards you, and place it firmly over your nose and mouth. Secure the elastic band behind your head and tighten the straps if necessary.
There we
And
go.
Don't worry if the bag doesn't
Looking
inflate.
very good.
Oxygen is flowing to the mask, and
Engine 2 is available. Starting engine
if you're
number
traveling
1.
with children, now's the time to pick your favorite one. But secure your mask
Parking
and
brakes
keep
are set.
Confirmation for
your
good
mask
engine
on
start.
until a member of the crew advises you it's safe to remove it. In the unlikely event of a water landing, a life vest is located in a pouch under your seat or between the armrests.
A lot of people out watching this retro liveried Airbus leave. Very nice.
Put it over your head. Wrap the straps around your waist and buckle at the front. Pull the strap to tighten.
Alright, there's N1 rotation. We have fuel flow.
On the red cord only when exiting
N2's
aircraft.
coming up.
If your life vest does not inflate automatically, blow into the mouthpiece.
Engine number 1's winding up.
Once again, all devices must be in airplane mode and your larger devices must be
And
turned
she
off
looks
and
like
secured
she's
at this
stable
time.
and coming up, so we'll
Please
tell them
securely
that they
stow
can
your personal
unhook.
items. Make
Cockpit
sure your
to ground.
seatbelts are
We
fastened
have a
in
good engine
fast and
start.
tray tables
You can
are in their
disconnect.
full upright position.
Unlocking
We
gear.
remind you that this is a non-smoking flight.
Alright, so
Tampering
they're
with
lowering the
smoking
aircraft
or
down. We're just
destroying
waiting for the
smoking
available. There we go.
detectors
Engine
in
1 is
laboratories
available.
prohibited by law. All
Backup
of this
top generators
information
1 and
and
2
more
are
can be
on,
found
no
in the
faults.
safety code
Ignition mode
located in the
selector
back in front of you.
to normal.
Just reading this and letting a cabin member
Propeats
know if you
are
have any
on
questions.
auto.
Thank you
NTIs
for
are
flying
not
with us
required.
again.
Packs
Hope
1
you
and
enjoy your
2
flight.
are both on, no faults. Flaps going to flaps 1 plus F. Trim we will now set is down 0.3. Roll the trim forward. Down 0.3. Flight control check. Full left. Full right. Neutral.
Tow truck disconnected.
Full
Bypass
forward.
pin removed.
Full left. Neutral.
Left is
Full
clear.
left rudder.
Right is
Full
clear.
right rudder. Neutral. APU bleeds and APU are now off. FCP is set. Engine instruments are checked and looking good. Look for our, what do they call him? Lead hand, aircraft manager, crew chief, whatever he is, showing us the pin. Means we have our steering. We give him the thumbs up. He's going to give us a wave saying good flight, and we are now good to go. So tiller's going to come on, nose light's going to come on to taxi. Auto brakes set to RTO. Ground spoilers are armed, and TO config check is no blue. Regina area traffic, Skyways. Or correction, Air Canada 8191 taxiing to runway 26 via Bravo Kilo holding short 26. Brakes are off. Here we go. Again, our end of the runway is right here, so we don't have far to go. Once again, beautiful day in Regina, but we are heading towards weather out in Alberta. So it'll be
We're
interesting
prepared
to
for
see
takeoff.
what we got. The cabin is ready. That's good to hear. So we're going to make the turn here at Kilo. holding short. We will take the whole runway since it's only 6,200 feet. Alright, here we are. Brakes on. So, nose light goes to takeoff. Strobe lights are on. Runway turnoff lights are on. Landing lights are on. Come down here. Transponder is on. TCAS is on. TARA tilt above. Weather radar is on. Runway is identified. And approach path is clear. Regina area traffic, Air Canada 8191 taking position, runway 26. Alright, brakes are off. We'll move out now. Swing it slightly wide just so we can make sure that we are using as much of the runway as we can. And there we go. All right. Brakes are set, engines to 40%. Clock is ticking. Regina area traffic, Air Canada 8191 departing on runway 26, departure to the northwest. Brakes released. Takeoff power set. David, hello. I'll read your message in a second. Man flex 52 degrees SRS enabled, auto throttle blue. Airspeed's live. .100 knots. V1. Rotate. There we go. Use the whole runway. We're paying for it. Let's use it. Positive rate. Gear up. Speed brakes disarmed. Climb it straight out as per the departure. There we go. Thrust climb. Autopilot's set. We're going to pop over here and we're now going to head direct to our first waypoint, which is OddGov. We'll insert that and away we go. And once again we see the prairies out there looking very nice. Hi, David. You got a professor in the UK, Canadian professor. Oh, that's good. It's we can get a good teacher. It's fantastic. Lever symmetry, yeah. Sometimes my throttles don't quite catch the D10. There we go. So as mentioned, we do have weather ahead in Calgary, so it'll be interesting to see what we end up with when we get there. We're fairly heavy today. Pretty much a full flight. There, we're through S speed, so flaps can come up. We keep accelerating up to 250 knots until we cross through 10,000 feet. Forget we already started at I think it's the airport elevation here, almost 2,000 feet. And in Alberta, it is 3,600. So yeah, we're getting into the higher elevations out here. All right, there's 250 knots. We'll go to our maximum climb rate at this speed. There's the Great Canadian Prairies spread out below us. A lot of farm country out here. There's 9,000 feet. So while we're climbing up here, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. We're on our way to 700 subscribers, which is a nice round number. I'd like to hit that by the end of summer. So if you like flying and you like what I do and some of the videos I put out, the instructional stuff as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now passed 10,000 feet. You may now turn on your larger
interrupted by the cabin
electronic
crew here.
devices. This is also a reminder to please keep your seatbelt fastened while you're seated and do not congregate in the
Get
galley
these other
floor near
lights
the
off.
lavatory.
Seatbelt sign can come off in the back. But yeah,
Flight crew has turned off
hit the
fasten
subscribe,
seatbelt sign. You can now get up and
throw
move
a
around
like
the
on
cabin.
it.
However, we ask that you keep your seatbelt
hit the bell
fastened when
notifications
seated
so you're
in the
notified of when we're
front
flying. And if you want to fly and join along, if you fly in FSX or Microsoft Flight Simulator or X-Plane, P3D, you can always join us on the VATSIM flights. They're always open to everybody. And if you fly in Microsoft Flight Sim and you want something a little bit more relaxed and not as stressful as having to deal with the controllers, then you can join us on the multiplayer streams, which are on Wednesdays and Sundays. Always an option. You can also get all the information of the flights, when we're flying and where we're flying on Discord. Links are in the description, and I'll throw it into the chat. You can join us over there. Find out when we're flying, what we're flying, and if you have any difficulties or questions about the aircraft or the sim in general, you can ask over there as well. We have a bunch of people pretty knowledgeable, willing to give a hand and help people out. So we're not going to be at top of descent long, or up at cruise long, as you can see. Basically about 200 miles, and then we start down again into Calgary, because it is pretty much a straight shot as we're flying here. So we're 40 miles till we reach our cruise altitude, but everything is looking good so far. I'm just going to take a quick look at the weather over Calgary at the moment, and yeah, a big storm system sitting over top of it right now, so that could be interesting when we get closer. We'll see how the sim deals with that weather when we get there. I'm going to bring up the map, if I can get it. There we go. A little bit of entertainment lined up, and we'll get that on. I'm gonna go get a beverage, and we'll go from there. So sit back, enjoy the flight. It's not a long one, but it should be fairly good. Yeah, got a bit of a wind here. You can see how much we're crabbing to deal with that push. So So let's take a view to the north. We can look out across the rugged prairies and all that as we go. I'll build up the entertainment. I'll be in the chat, and we will see you again for the debrief. I will be back on the mic. Back in a bit for the debrief.
don't tell me I left it home. Is there any spinach in the house?
Contact light. Okay, engine stop. ATA at a descent. Mode control both auto. Descent engine command override off. Engine arm off. 13 is in. We copy you down, Eagle. Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. Roger, Tranquility. We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue. We're breathing again. Thanks a lot. And we're getting a picture on the TV. There's a great deal of contrast in it, and currently it's upside down on our monitor, but we can make out a fair amount of detail. Okay, Neil, we can see you coming down the ladder now.
Sunday, July 20th, 1969. Around the world, nearly 1 billion people watched this moment on television as the first man from Earth prepared to set foot upon the moon.
At the foot of the ladder, the lamp footbeds are only depressed in the surface about 1 or 2 inches, although the surface appears to be very, very fine-grained as you get close to it. It's almost like a powder. Ground mass is very fine. I'm going to step off the lamb now. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal, before this decade is out, of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the Earth.
All that we have accomplished in space, all that we may accomplish in days and years to come, we stand ready to share for the benefit of all mankind.
As we explore the reaches of space, let us go to the new worlds together, not as new worlds to be conquered, but as a new adventure to be shared.
Since the earliest time, man has imagined this moment, the moment when his fellow man would make the first journey to the moon. Now the time had come. In the 6th decade of the 20th century, the ancient dream was to become a reality. The flight of Apollo 11 was the culmination of many years of planning, working, building, and testing. Thousands of people had contributed toward this day of accomplishment. The great Saturn V rocket and the complex Apollo spacecraft had been assembled together and moved to the launch pad. The equipment and techniques and personnel had been proved in earlier missions, and now they were ready. The astronauts chosen for this mission had flown it many times in ground-based simulators. They had all been in space before. They had trained carefully and well. And now, they too were ready. Astronaut Michael Collins would pilot the Apollo command module. Astronaut Edwin Aldrin Jr. would pilot the lunar module. And astronaut Neil Armstrong would serve as mission commander. Armstrong would be the first man to step upon the moon.
In a few moments, our lovely flight attendants will be starting our in-flight
July
service.
16th,
We'll be serving
the
complimentary
day had
drinks
come.
and snacks.
The
Premium
moon
drinks are
awaited.
available for a small charge.
The men rose
Please note,
early,
we only
ate
accept
breakfast,
credit
and dressed
cards.
in their spacesuits. Other astronauts had made this journey to the launch pad, but never with such anticipation. 9:32 a.m., July 16th. Three hours later, the Apollo command module moves forward to extract the lunar module from the third stage of the launch vehicle. Both are moving at more than 17,000 miles an hour. Docked together, they will sail 250,000 miles across the sea of space and into orbit around the Earth's nearest neighbor.
Oh, loud and clear now, Mike, and we understand that you are docked.
During the three-day journey to the moon, the astronauts kept busy. Checklists, navigation and observation, housekeeping. They must work in a weightless environment, keeping their spacecraft and themselves in good condition. Data must be collected and reported. Experiments must be performed, including photography both inside and outside the spacecraft. Because of the film speed, these actions appear faster than they actually were. July 19th. Apollo 11 slows down and goes into orbit around the moon. The bright blue planet of Earth now lies 238,000 miles beyond the lunar horizon. Astronauts Armstrong and Aldrin, now in the lunar module, separate from the command module. Astronaut Collins remains behind. Preparation for the lunar module descent to the moon now begins. The command module assumes the new name, Columbia. lunar module will be called the Eagle. From Columbia, Michael Collins' camera sees bright rays of the sun reflecting patterns of color from the surface of the Eagle. In this strange metallic bird rides the ancient and endless dream of all mankind. The command pilot can see detail which his camera cannot record. The 4 landing pads of the lunar module are fully extended and locked in place. The Eagle is poised and prepared for its descent to the lunar surface. The moon landing craft rocket engine fires to slow it down and to place it on the pathway to the landing site in the Sea of Tranquility. There is tension and caution as the Eagle flies lower. Warning lights blink on as the computer tries to keep up with the demand for control data, but the status remains go.
Eagle, we got you now. It's looking good, over. Roger, copy. Eagle Houston, after yaw around, angled S-band pitch, -9er, yaw, +18. Roger, you're a go to continue power descent. You're a go to continue power descent.
Altitude now 21,000 feet, still looking very good. Velocity down now to 1,200 feet per second.
You're looking great to us, Eagle. Give us a reading on the 1202 program alarm. Roger, we got you. We're going at alarm.
Good radar data. We're now in the approach phase. Everything looking good. Altitude 4,200.
Houston, you're a go for landing, over. Roger, understand. Go for landing. 3,000 feet. Stop alarm.
Altitude 1,600. 1,400 feet, still looking very good.
700 feet, 21 down. 33 degrees. 100 feet down at 19. 1201. 1201. Roger, 1201 alarm. We're go. Same type. We're go. Altitude, velocity light. 8.5 down. 220 feet. 13 forward. 11 forward, coming down nicely. 200 feet. 4.5 down. 5.5 down. 60 seconds. Lights on. Down 2.5. Forward. Forward. That's 40 feet down 2.5. Picking up some dust. 4 forward. 4 forward. Drifting to the right a little. Good. Okay. Contact light. Okay, engine stop. We copy you down, Eagle. Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Through the window of the Eagle, Armstrong and Aldrin see what no human eyes have ever seen before. Their spacecraft casts a long shadow across the undisturbed dust of centuries. Seven hours after landing, after careful preparations for later ascent were completed, Armstrong opens the Eagle hatch and begins his climb down to the surface. The first footsteps on this strange new world must be taken cautiously. The moon has only 1/6 the gravity of Earth. The nature of its surface was still unknown.
I'm going to step off the limb now. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Once on the surface, Armstrong scoops up a small sample of lunar dust and rock. Precaution against the possibility of an emergency takeoff. According to plan, astronaut Aldrin now descends from the Eagle. He and his equipment would weigh 383 pounds on Earth. Here, they weigh about 66 pounds. For a brief moment, the first men on the moon stand and look at the stark, lonely landscape around them, an experience which no one before them can share. But there is much to be done in the limited time which they can stay on this airless, cloudless satellite of Earth. This sheet of metal foil traps and holds particles from the sun, the so-called solar wind, or barrage of solar energy, which constantly strikes the moon's surface. Results of this experiment will be taken back to Earth to reveal new secrets to anxious scientists. An American flag is left behind on the moon, together with medals honoring American and Soviet spacemen who lost their lives in earlier space tests, and a small disc carrying messages of goodwill from 73 nations on Earth. A plaque on the lunar module reads, "Here, men from the planet Earth first set foot upon the moon, July 1969 AD. We came in peace for all mankind." Through a specially made television camera, viewers in many nations on Earth were able to watch the astronauts as they walked and worked on the moon. Despite the bulky spacesuits and the backpacks containing oxygen, temperature control, and communications equipment, the Apollo 11 crew found they could move easily about the surface. Because there is no wind or rain on the moon, these footprints will remain for centuries. In addition to collecting rock and soil samples, the explorers leave behind a seismometer. This highly sensitive device would send back valuable information on external meteoroid impacts, as well as internal lunar movements. A 100 prism laser reflector would help man to measure the exact distance from Earth to Moon to an accuracy of 6 inches. These were the first of many experiments which will be taken to the Moon to provide man continuing and increasing knowledge about the Moon and the vastness of space beyond. After 2 hours and 31 minutes, the first lunar explorers had completed their research on the Moon. A night of rest in the lunar module, countdown preparations, and they were ready to come home.
Tranquility Base, Houston, guidance recommendation is pings, and you're cleared for takeoff.
Roger, understand. We're number 1 on the runway. 7, 6, 5, work stage, engine arm ascent. Shadow, beautiful. quiet ride. There's that one crater down there.
Thousand feet high, 80 feet per second vertical rise. Eagle Houston, you're looking good at 2. Ping, zags, and lifts in, all agree.
I'm going right down US 1.
Eagle Houston going right down the track. Everything's great. Horizontal velocity approaching 2,500 feet per second.
Roger.
Some 120 miles to go until insertion.
July 21st. The Eagle and its 2-man crew lifted off the moon perfectly and climbed slowly to rendezvous and dock with the mother ship, Columbia. While Armstrong and Aldrin explored the moon, astronaut Collins had kept a long and lonely vigil in the Columbia. The approaching Eagle was a welcome sight. Later, the 3 men would share their reflections on this adventure with the world.
I believe that from the early space flights, we demonstrated a potential to carry out this type of a mission. And again, it was a question of time until this would be accomplished.
I think it's a technical triumph for this country to have said what it was going to do a number of years ago, and then, by golly, do it.
The relative ease with which we were able to carry out our mission, which, of course, came after a very efficient and logical sequence of flights, I think that this demonstrated that we were certainly on the right track when we took this commitment to go to the moon.
I just see it as a beginning of a new age.
Once again, the bright blue planet of Earth rises over the lunar horizon. For those who had witnessed man's landing in the Sea of Tranquility, the moon would never again appear quite the same. July 24, dawn in the Pacific. Apollo blazes across the heavens, coming back to Earth at 25,000 miles an hour. President Richard Nixon, who had talked with the astronauts by telephone while they were on the moon, was waiting aboard the recovery carrier to welcome the returning voyagers. The President later expressed the nation's response to this historic mission.
Some way, when those two Americans stepped on the moon, the people of this world were brought closer together. That it is that spirit, the spirit of Apollo, that America can now help to bring to our relations with other nations. The spirit of Apollo transcends geographical barriers and political differences. It can bring the people of the world together in peace.
To protect against any possible lunar contamination, the astronauts put on airtight special garments before coming aboard the rescue ship. They transferred directly from the helicopter to a mobile quarantine van, in which they would be flown back to the Manned Spacecraft Center in Houston, Texas. July 27th. The journey was ended. They were home again. Ahead lay 3 weeks of isolation, medical tests, and mission debriefings. Then visits to major cities of America and abroad. The details of their unique mission would be relived and remembered so that others might learn what they had learned, and that future travelers in space might build upon their experience. The rock and soil samples brought back would be examined and analyzed by scientists in many lands. They would reveal new insights into the origin and the age and the composition of the moon, and perhaps new knowledge of the Earth as well. Already experiments left on the moon were sending back revealing new information. The mission was successfully completed. The Eagle had landed the first men on the moon, and Columbia had returned them safely to Earth. Wherever man journeys tomorrow across the ocean of our universe, history will remind him that Apollo 11 was mankind's first encounter with a new world.
Alright, welcome back to the flight deck. We are getting ready for our descent. Don't know if you noticed, but I accidentally hit approach mode down here, which put us into approach mode, but I've just overridden the speed since we didn't want to be plugging along nice and slow. So as you can see, the clouds are building up. That weather system is coming in. It's mostly north of Calgary, but it does switch. The bottom end of it is over there. And I'm going to grab the weather now, which I was just inputting, that you probably saw me doing. If we take a look at Calgary, there we go there. You can see the winds are 330, 16, gusting 23, 4 miles of visibility, light rain, overcast at 4,700 feet, which is critical because the airport is only at 3,800 feet, so it's kind of close. 29er is the barrow when we get down and all that. So we're coming up for our top of descent. So I've gone and connected the route since ATC has not come up. So we're going to put in our intercept altitude for the ILS, and I'm just going to quickly pop down to our rad nav, make sure it is entered in. India Yankee Charlie on 1115 is correct. So that is all good there. So basically we're going to descend at 280 knots. Once we get down to about 15,000 feet, we'll go into managed mode, and that'll bring us down to our nice slow speed. We're going to descend, like I said, 280 once we get up there and we convert over. So we're looking good. So we're just a couple miles away, so we're going to begin our descent now. We'll hit the button and down we go. Calgary area traffic, Air Canada 8191, leaving flight level 340 inbound for the Burco 5 arrival for the ILS runway 35 left at Calgary. Alright, so we're heading down. We have a restriction of 8,000 feet showing. So you can see we're going to come down, all the way down, and basically make the turnaround and then intercept and come in and land. So we'll just hold Mach 7-8 until that becomes 280, then we'll switch over and just hold there. And you can see we've definitely got that cloud build up as we move into the weather system. I'm going to throw the train radar as well, just for when we get down there. So we'll convert over now, 280. And down we go. When we arrive in Calgary, we're going to be parking, let's say gate 34. That's a good gate to go for. We'll see if it'll let us do that. Never know with GSX. Well, they tell us that the parking spot is too small for our aircraft, which it seems to do quite a lot. Oh, ATC just came up behind us in Winnipeg Center. There's a few aircraft inbound. Oh, there's 2 aircraft inbound to Calgary right now. It looks like there's one on the ground. Going to be heading over to Frankfurt. So we'll keep an ear out for him. So outdoor temperature is -12. So I think we're going to put the anti-ice on as we go through the clouds here, just in case. We'll watch for the messages as well. But we know there's a lot of moisture here since it is currently raining in Calgary. But that is good. So as we go down, tomorrow we're back on our U.S. Capitals tour, flying the DC-3. We'll be flying from Albany, New York, down to Trenton, New Jersey. That is multiplayer if you want to join in. Find something that flies along at about 160 knots or so. You're more than welcome to join in. We are going to be flying the Airplane Heaven DC-3 with the Duckworks mod, which makes it a very enjoyable airplane to fly. That is tomorrow, and then our next stream won't be until Sunday when we're back. Flying the 747-8 freighter. We'll be flying from Barcelona to Montreal on Sunday at 1400 hours. You can see our barrow for our minimums is set 3742, which is 200 feet above the ground. So we're looking at 3,900 or 3,500 foot elevations here. So pretty high. We'll be up on the edge of the mountains. Not sure if we'll see them, but they are out there. It's 25,000 feet, still holding at 280. Very nice. Haven't had to put the speed brakes out yet. 15,000 feet. We'll start to slow her down. Clean speed of 215 knots. We have another aircraft coming in from Halifax. He's further behind us. I think he's over in the Winnipeg FIR right now, so he'll be in behind us. We'll make a call over Burco. Miles out from there. Definitely see some of that darker grayish cloud. We're not doing too bad, so no anti-ice as of yet. We'll definitely keep an eye for any warnings and get on that nice and quick if we've got to turn it on, because the controls are up there. Alright, we're going to switch over now to local pressure as we are getting close to 18,000 feet. Let's see if we can match here. So that's 26, 5, 4, 3, yeah, somewhere about there, 2. Alright, there's our turn. Calgary area traffic, Air Canada 8191 over Burco on the Burco 5, arrival ILS runway 35 left, Calgary. Alright, we're through 20,000 feet, so let's get the signs on in the back.
The flight crew has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. Please return to your seat and fasten your seatbelt.
Got our constraints on. Heading into the weather in a second. See if she's looking out. So using the new feature on the Navigraph, I can show you what we're coming into now. So you can see here the storm system. We just flew through this bit here. We're now coming into this part. So it's putting down a little bit of light rain. Lots of heavier rain to the north and a little bit more south and east of us, but still coming into this area of rain here. So at Ebdik, which is our next point up here, we have to be at 250, and then it's down to 210. So once we hit Ebdik, we'll go into our manage mode. That'll bring us down to 210, which is what we're looking for. Sorry about that. And we're into the clouds. We're about 10,000 feet above the ground now, so we're going to go lights on, get them all up and going. So we're set in the back. We'll get the wing lights on as well. Ding the back. Not seeing any rain yet, and we're not getting a warning for icing. 4 degrees out. Speed control's been very good. We haven't accelerated away yet.
We have begun our final descent into your destination. Flight attendants will be passing.
You don't recognize Calgary?
Any track
Come
one
on.
final time. Please ensure tray tables are stowed and
Let's get the landing systems on.
Please also store
Pick
any
up the
carry-on items either
airport.
in the
We are.
seatbelt pocket or under the seat in front of you.
Fortunately 15 miles away, but we're going to be doing the big S turn here. Alright, let's start slowing her down. Get some speed brake out to help us slow down. 250 knots. Limit is coming up. We'll drop that over to 10 so we can see everything. There's our turn. 250. And we're going to be slowing down to 210. Starting to hear the rain. It's either rain or ice pellets. Not 100% sure. It's 210. to arm the speed brakes. We're going to set auto brakes to low. Yeah, that's water. It's 5 degrees out. It was fairly cold out. It's only 7 degrees on the ground. Cold, rainy day in Calgary, which is a little bit bizarre since you go a couple provinces over and the temperature's up in the 20s. Alright, we're going to head down to 6,500 now. Got a nice turn going here, turning in towards the airfield. Speed's coming back nicely. We're going to go to flaps 1. Approach mode. I wish these were set to fly over, and I would have put the loop out there. This is where it should have been. But lights are on, cabin is notified. Speed brake is, or ground spoilers are set, auto brake is set to low, just gear flaps now. And we are in the weather. Wedge slope should have captured. So let's get down. Flaps 2. Gear down.
2,500.
There's glide slope. And localizer. Calgary area traffic. Air Canada 8191 established ILS runway 35 left, Calgary. Right, there's 5 miles. Flaps 3. Looking for the airfield. It's flaps full. There's the lead light, the rabbit. It's 1,500 feet. coming in over into the berk. Not sure why I'm not seeing water on the windshield. And we got that strong, slight crosswind coming in from the left.
$1,000
to go.
$500.
I have control.
$100 above.
Bird. Landing.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard.
Come on, where are you going?
5.
Oh, that wind really caught it. Reverser's on low. We're gonna go up to Charlie 4. Reverser's off. Manual braking. We're just gonna let her roll out. There's the rain coming down. It's Charlie 2. We're gonna cross over.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached our destination. The local time is 3:05 p.m. and it's currently about 7 degrees Celsius. You can now use your mobile devices. Please remain seated until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the seatbelt sign is turned off.
I don't know why it's so cold down here.
Opening the overhead bins as items may have shifted during the flight. We thank you for flying with us and we hope to see you again soon.
Calgary area traffic, Air Canada 8191 is clear, runway 35 left at Charlie 4, taxiing to the apron, Charlie 4, Charlie, Hotel Delta. Alright, get those up, flaps up, the taxi light, that's still on, get those on, come off, that'll then come off, those will come off, one light come off. We'll start the APU, those are up, that can come off. TCAS will go off. There we go. So this is Charlie coming up. We're here at Calgary Airport. So we're going to go to the left here, and then we're going to go in on the northwest side of that pier there. And we were looking for gate, was it 34? Yeah, let's see if they'll give me 34. Was it D? Concourse B. There we go. Yeah, sure, WestJet can do that. Alright, here's Hotel Delta. terminal. Yes, there is a big building there. We're going to be going beside it. There's 36. Should be the next one. And there's 34. Alright, so lights are off. Overshot. And we'll pull up here. And there we go. Welcome to Calgary. So parking brakes are on. We'll come down here. We'll get the guys to hook up. There we go. Come up top. External power is now on. We'll put the bleeds on in the back. Get some heat going because it's kind of cold. And engines are off. Fuel pumps are now coming off. We're over onto external power. Beacon light can come off. By checklist, engine control beacon, the ground equipment's all in place, fuel pumps are off. Flight directors and landing systems are coming off. And deboarding can start.
The boarding requested.
Well, yeah, I know. Come on, put that back. There we go. Everything is moving in, and we are done. Welcome to Calgary. Interesting approach, a little bit of bad weather. It's always nice to get that as something different. Thanks very much for coming along. If you want to join us, please do. Discord links are in the description. Don't forget to like, subscribe. We're on our way to 700 subscribers. Every little bit helps the channel. Consider liking and sharing. Join the fights, comment and chat. Hey, share the videos if you want to. We'll see you all on the next one. Bye for now.
Passengers, the boarding started.